is ZeBirdBrain, and today we are talking about the new features of Harmony 24, but more specifically, the new features about the exports. So, there's going to be new things into how you export the names of your file into the write node. Also, if you go to the export menu, you're going to see render write nodes, movie, animated GIFs. This is not new, but you're going to see export to After Effects, and that is pretty freaking cool. So, first, if you go in your node view, you're going to find your write node. One of my biggest pet peeves with Harmony was that you couldn't just make your naming automatic for your exports. You had to always make it manual. Unless you were savvy with scripting, or unless you were in a studio where you had like that person writing scripts for everyone. If you're just on your own, you had nothing. You had to like type them by yourself all the time, which was very annoying because in Storyboard Pro, there was a way to code name your exports. Like in Storyboard Pro, if you write %S, %T, like this is gonna write like the name of your project, the name of the scene. Like this was amazing, but then you couldn't do it in Harmony. So in Harmony 24, you actually can. So if I'm trying to name my exports for my shots, you just have to go into your write node. If you don't know how to use a write node, check on my channel. I have videos about exports. I'm gonna also link them into the description and like the splash screen after the video. But basically, you go into your write node, click there, and then if you look at the image file name, you're gonna see here, if you leave your cursor there for enough time, you're gonna see there's $environment, $job, scene, and all of those. So if you write this code, it's going to give you the information that is written on the right. So for example, if I write $date, when it exports, it's going to do a date stamp of the current date with the formatting day, month, and year. If you write like dollar sign color space, it's going to like put the color space of the scene in the name. So that is insanely useful. So let's say I want this to be named by scene and date. I could just go here, instead of having myself to write 040, which is the name of the scene, I could just go with $scene. I think it's that. It's new to me too, okay, so $scene with a capital S, and then underscore $date. If I click on this and I render, my renders would be called the name of my scene with the date. So I'm not going to do it because it's going to take forever, but that's what it would do into your files. So if I go to my export menu and I go to render write nodes and I render my frames, I'm just going to render 2 frames so it goes faster. By the way, this is a Game Grumps animation I'm doing, which is going to come out probably in the following month. I don't know. But yeah, I turned them into rats and moles. So if I go into my Game Grumps scene, this is scene number 4. If I go into my frames, my renders, I'm going to see here, it's called GG9Rats040, which is the name of my scene. And then here, this is the code of the date. However, and that's why I rendered, I want to show you that Harmony still needs to put numbers in your renders. So don't forget to always include a underscore right here. So that then if I render again, my renders will have the right name. So I'm going to go back here, scene 04, frames. You see the difference? This one has the underscore and this one doesn't. Okay, so it's very important that at the end you still put a underscore with nothing so that the numbering can be done right. And by the way, this is not a new feature, but don't forget that you can choose how many zeros you put there. I think that 3 is usually overkill. I think 2 zeros is more than enough for most scenes. The other cool thing about the exports is that you can go into File, Export, and you can find Export to After Effects. So personally, I have not used After Effects in years. I used it in the past when I was like a 3D artist and there was nothing else we could use, but honestly, I still think 99% of the time it's just easier to comp inside Harmony right away, because if you comp in After Effects, you're gonna have to make a lot of like export layers and you're gonna run into so many issues about layering, and like I don't think most projects benefit from being comped in After unless you have something really realistic and really specific that you want to comp. Most things can be done in Harmony anyway, so you don't need to do them in After. Now, if you're used to After, that's another story, but I would argue that it's better if you learn Harmony as well, because I'm an animator, but I know how to use Flash, Harmony, Clip Studio, like many other software, because it's important to open your horizon. If you're a comp artist that only knows After Effects, then you're closing doors to yourself, I'll be honest. If you are a compositing artist, it's better to learn After Effects, Nuke, and Harmony, even Blender, if you want to be versatile. that being said, in Harmony now, because sometimes if you're in a studio, like you don't choose the pipeline, right? So if it's after, it's after. Well, this should make it easier at least to export your layers to after. So I'm gonna click here, and in there you have this window. So as usual, you need to read the documentation about that, okay? Because exporting to After Effects is never easy. There's a lot of things to be careful about. So go read if this applies to you, because this doesn't apply to all cases. Sometimes some cases are more complicated, okay? I myself, I'm not super knowledgeable about that. I'm sorry. Usually I'm the go-to for everything, but I'll be honest, I am not well-versed in that subject. But it is an export option that is new to Harmony 24, but it's new for me too. So sadly, I don't have much information about it yet. Maybe I'll do another video in the future, but I just wanted to put it out there so that if you guys are struggling and you need to import to After Effects, I encourage you to check this out into the documentation, or you can even write to Toon Boom to have more info about it. I'm sorry I cannot help you with that, but it's there and it's pretty great. So try it and let us know. I think that's a promising new feature and I just wanted to introduce it to you. So have a lovely day, everyone.